hair is looking crazy. I slept in these braids. So I've got this Christmas dress. So most of these dresses I've been calling baby doll dresses, but this one is gonna be like a princess gown or a princess dress. Not quite sure yet, but it's really long. It's got little candy canes, like peppermint princess gown, maybe. Still working on a name for a longer dress. But I've got this cotton fabric that I'm going to put on this top. This is 100% cotton. And then the snowflakes are actually sparkly. I don't think you'll be able to see it on camera, but I need to quickly sew this up so that I can attach it to the skirt. I'll probably go ahead and weave in the ends too. While I'm at it, there's not that many on the inside. There's the inside of the color work. I have a free pattern for these dresses and a tutorial up on my YouTube as well. They're super simple. There's no increases or decreases. It's just like a straight rectangle. I mean, you could use any kind of crochet bodice, like a bralette or something, but if you go with this shape, it's just a square. May I see your hand? No. Like, you can see me now. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to be doing what I'm doing here. I'm not doing any tricks. Hi. I'm from America. I did make this sweater. It's got crayons on it. Family friendly, yeah, I don't plan to be doing any inappropriate content on here or cursing or anything like that. I'm just doing crafts. This sweater that I'm wearing took about 20 hours to make because I made each crayon around, and it's got like crayons on the back. And then I had to do these like swirly things on the sleeves. I'm just making Christmas dresses. It's not for a wedding. Yeah, all the sweaters I make take about 20 hours or so, and then these dresses I make take like up to 10 hours. I only keep some of what I make. Most of the time, I do make the sweaters available for about $200. I know that not everybody can afford that, and that's fine. If somebody wants it and they can afford it, then there are some that are available, but it's not like my hobby is just making them. I don't like I'm not gonna try to force people to buy them or anything, but I can't keep everything I make, so once I, take pictures of it and stuff, and I write patterns for these things too, so once I've gotten the pictures and stuff that I need, if I don't decide to keep the piece, then I will put it up for sale. And sometimes I do have sales that, then the things would be less than like $200. These dresses are less than that, but like a sweater for $200, sometimes I put like a sale, and then it'll end up being like a little bit less than that, but $200 is pretty much the baseline for something that took 20 hours. Yeah, I think $200 is a reasonable price. I mean, my stuff has actually been on the runway in Denver Fashion Week and like magazines and stuff. I mean, if people can sell designer handbags that are produced by a machine for like $40,000, and I don't see why I shouldn't be able to charge whatever I feel is appropriate for at least the work that was done. I'm not like slinging a high price tag just because. Do I mostly wear the clothes that I make? Not usually. Like if I'm just around the house, like sitting around, probably not, because I have cats and dogs and I don't want them to like snag it with their claws. But if I'm like going out or like going on camera or something, then I do like to wear what I made just to kind of have a like little extra advertising, maybe, so to speak. And why not use a machine? Crochet actually can't be done by a machine. There are knitting machines. And what I'm doing here is I'm connecting the front and the back of this. And if I used a machine, it would create like a seam where the two pieces of fabric are like layered together. But what I'm doing here, there's like no seam. So that way the piece of fabric is totally flat all the way around. And I'm actually done with this part, attaching these two pieces. So I will be using a machine in a second to do the actual sewing of the fabric. But this crochet, this took like 8 hours maybe, and could not be done by a machine because there's no machine that can do crochet. And then now I have to take these strings and then like weave them into the fabric so that they're not like hanging out or anything like that. Or, you know, if I cut them short, then they might start to unravel. So this part has to be done by hand as well. What I do is crochet, and I do like doing it. I've been crocheting since I was about 10, and I didn't start making money on it until recently. And yeah, so there are other things I could do that would make me more money than trying to sell crochet. But this is what I like doing, so that's why I do it. I started out making like plushies and stuff when I was younger, and when I learned how to crochet, and I would just make those as like gifts for family and friends and stuff, or just like as a hobby. And then around 2020, I started wanting to make some clothes for myself, and then I was just like posting them on Instagram, and people were interested. If I had a pattern for the things I was making, and I didn't because I made it up myself. So then when people were showing interest in a pattern, then I decided to start writing out the patterns for this stuff. So people can buy the pattern and then, or I have some free patterns too, and then they can make the same thing that I just made. Okay, now I just have 2 more ends to weave in. And then I'm going to use the machine to attach the skirt to this crochet top. This isn't a commission job. I just wanted to make like a few Christmas themed dresses. So I've got this one with the candy canes, this one with reindeer. I think I'm not gonna have time to do this today, so I might come back tomorrow and do that. That's the crocheted umbrella girl, and I'm gonna sew it onto that rain jacket. So none of this is commissions. I don't really do commissions too much. I kind of like to just make what I want to make and then take pictures of it, and yeah, kind of just to advertise my patterns that I have, and then if anybody wants to buy this stuff, they can. if I decide to not keep it. But like the candy canes and these snowflakes and the reindeer, those are all from a cardigan pattern that I have that has like little mini graphics that can be put all over it, so you could put like snowflakes all over the cardigan or whatever. And so I just used those graphs to make these little images on these dresses. And I like to kind of have like crossover with my patterns, because then people can, you know, if they already have the holiday cardigans pattern with these holiday graphs, then, you know, you can use those on lots of different projects. And then I've got the free pattern for this dress, so you could almost put any image you want on the dress as long as it fits within like the amount of stitches, as long as you have enough stitches for the amount of pixels you have on the graph image that you're working, then you could put almost any image on this or on like a cardigan. Okay, so I got all the ends weaved in, and now I'm actually going to sew in my tag before I start attaching the skirt. It's just got my brand name on there. This is another part that I do by hand, because if I try to use a machine to sew the tag on, then you can see it through the back of the fabric, and I didn't really like that. So for the raincoat, I can show you. It's just like a separate crocheted piece. It's pinned on, so I need to sew it on. And I'm going to use a machine to sew this on, but it's just like a crochet square that ends at the blue part. So it was just crocheted, and then I will be sewing it on to the raincoat. Yeah, I'm really excited. I have made 2 sweaters with the Morton Salt Girl before, and they were both really, they were a real hit. People liked them. So hopefully people will like the raincoat as well. Okay, so now I've got my tag sewn in. And this is the fabric for the skirt, but I have to gather it so that it's smaller at the top. And I've already put a stitch in it to gather it, so I'm just gonna pin the sides to the skirt so that I can evenly gather it. Okay, so I have like this big loose thing, fabric, and then I'm just going to take one end of the thread and then it starts to cinch up and gather the fabric. Hi, welcome back. Do I work with any other materials? Well, I don't know. Sewing is kind of new to me, like machine sewing, and like making dresses. That's kind of my new thing because I just learned how to use a sewing machine this summer. Or I guess like I have used one a couple times, but I was making like pillows, so it's just squares. And that was like 15 years ago. So recently I just got back into it and I've been making these dresses. And so I have worked with different materials like cotton and like polyester bed sheets. I've made like dresses out of bed sheets that I thrifted and stuff. And then I also just learned how to knit like a couple years ago. And then I've done like a couple paintings in my life and, you know, a couple times working with pottery and jewelry and stuff, but crochet was always my main thing. And now I'm kind of getting into mixing it with sewing / might try to explore like just sewing, like sewing things that don't have crochet involved, but we'll see where it takes me. I mean, I made crochet into my job, so I do want to keep up with that so that I can continue working on it, but you know, knitting and sewing have kind of become the new hobby for me. And I don't plan to like sell anything that I've knit because knitting takes a lot longer than crocheting, unless I get like a knitting machine, but so far knitting has just been like for personal projects. Yeah, I love creating and stuff. I used to draw a lot. I don't really make time to draw anymore. I do draw all of my like logos and stickers and stuff. So I have like stickers available that are related to crochet and knitting, and I drew all those, but like digitally on an iPad. But I don't really draw with pencil and paper much these days. But like when I was in high school, I would draw all the time. It's hard to keep up with everything because it's true, if you don't use it, you do lose it. And it's like I've tried to draw some stuff like just with pencil and paper, and I'm like, who drew this? Just being out of practice will do that, but I also like baking and stuff, and I do want to start a garden this coming year. So I feel like that's more like technical though, just following a recipe or following like instructions to grow stuff from seeds. But it's also creative in a way, I feel. Okay, so now I'm going to use this machine to sew this. How did I get my sweaters modeled on the runway? Well, I saw somebody else who said that they applied to a fashion show, and then I didn't know that it was like by application. I just don't know what I thought, but then I just applied and got in. So I applied again at a later time and didn't get in, so I'm not sure. I think I didn't have proper like sketches presented. Like I didn't have a cohesive collection, so that's probably why. But I plan to apply again in the future and try to get things modeled again. I did meet some great models and photographers though, so I could probably, you know, plan out a photo shoot and get things modeled, even if it's not on the runway. But it was a fun experience. Definitely a lot of chaos backstage trying to keep up with like 10 or 12 models, because then they have to like get their makeup done and their hair done, and there's like 10 other designers with their 10 models. So there's like a couple hundred people backstage, and then, you know, you're like, oh, where did so-and-so go? And they're just somewhere else, like in the venue. And then like backstage, it's all crowded and hot and hairspray, chemicals everywhere. But it was pretty fun. This sewing machine is from the 80s, so it's like super loud. I got it at a thrift store. It came with the whole table and everything. Okay, so I'm just going to trim off some of this excess thread. Okay, so here it is attached now. And this one is not that long compared to this one. So now I need to hem the bottom so that it's not like a raw edge. And then I just have to wait for this iron to heat up. I just recently changed out these floors from carpet to like LVP and like the vinyl fake wood flooring. So now I can actually like roll my chairs around and stuff. It's a lot better than carpet because the carpets were just not good. Okay, now I'm going to sew around the bottom of the skirt. And this is the final step, by the way. Since I already weaved in the ends on the top and added in my label. Okay, and now this dress is done. Okay, so now I have this one to work on. This is like little reindeer, and then these are hard to see, but they're like ruby plastic beads. And I'm not too sure what I'm doing for this one. I have this fabric and then also some cream colored lace. I don't know. This is gonna be like one I haven't made before, so it's an experimental piece. My idea was to do like this fabric as like the main skirt part, and then the lace in like maybe like two separate pieces, like gathered pieces down the sides. So kind of like, you know how like princess dresses have like those extra clumps of fabric like at the hip, something like that maybe. This fabric is so like, I don't know, it's delicate, and I haven't worked with anything like this before, so hopefully it's not too difficult. Okay, I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I'm going to just try it out. How do you go live? I don't know, I just clicked the plus button like if you were gonna upload a video. I think you need a channel, because I have a YouTube channel and then I just clicked like the plus as if I was gonna upload a video, and then it has like an option for like live. Yesterday was the first time I went live on YouTube. So today's the second day. Okay, so I've added a zigzag stitch to finish this edge because this fabric is fraying a lot. So now I'm just gonna trim beyond where I put that stitch. I don't know. So here's the fabric. I don't know if I like that. Let's see. It's like too long, I think, if I do it this way. Okay, I think I'm gonna cut that off and start over. Trial and error. That's how it all goes down. I'm using these zigzag scissors. They're called pinking shears because I think that might make it fray a little less. Okay, that's a bit better, I think. I really have no idea what I'm doing with this fabric because I haven't worked with this before, and I just, no idea. All these scraps on the floor. The trash can's like right there, but I wasn't really aiming for it. Okay. That seam looks a little better. I don't know, it's just so sheer, it's hard to figure out what to do with the seams. But I don't know, I mean, I think that part's gonna be covered by the lace anyway, so I don't know. My idea is like, so here's the fabric, and then I've got these lace pieces, and then I was just gonna put like one of them there on like that part, and then another one like on the other side. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I think I have a vision. We'll see if it turns out any good. Okay, now I'm going to add in the gathering stitch so that I can gather this fabric and then kind of see where I want the other stuff. Okay. I thought that I ran out of thread on the bobbin, but I didn't, so then I took it out, and now I'm not really sure how to go back in and fix it, but it's okay. I'm just gonna start a new one right here. Like I said, I'm a beginner sewer, so like I'm still finding issues and problems to solve. Now, what is this? Okay, I have no idea what's happening. I literally need to start over. It's like cinching up when I didn't tell it to. Okay, so I got that thread out, and now I'm going to start this again. I'm going to put in a new bobbin because I think this was just low and it's like rattling around and causing all kinds of weird tension problems. Okay. Let's see if I have better luck this time. Hi, thank you. Okay, well, something like this is going to be the top part of the dress, and then I'm going to put the lace around it some other way. So I'm still figuring this out, but I'm going to have it done today. I'm going to take pictures of these dresses today, and then these dresses, that holiday dress, this one, and then this one with the lace skirt will all be available tomorrow at noon Mountain Time. So if you're interested, you can keep an eye out. If you want to make your own dress, I do have a free pattern and tutorial available for it, but I'm going to get off of here and figure this out. So thank you for tuning in.